Hey guys, welcome to our math lesson for Wednesday. Today we're going to be taking a new turn in geometry, and we're going to be talking about 3D shapes. So when I use the word 3D, I'm talking about three-dimensional shapes, or shapes that have 3 dimensions to them. So far we have learned about 2D shapes, so those are 2-dimensional shapes. And we've learned about shapes like a square or a rectangle. Okay, so those are 2D shapes or 2-dimensional shapes. They're flat, they don't have sides, okay? They have the vertices and they have edges, but they just don't have faces or sides, okay? So those are your 2D shapes. Today, we're gonna be learning about 3D shapes. So those are shapes that do have edges and vertices like they do, but they also have faces or sides. So the difference would be, here's a square, that's a 2D shape, and then we have a cube that is a 3D shape. This one is flat, this one has shape to it, okay? And then we have a rectangle that is a flat 2D shape, and we have a rectangular prism that is a 3D shape that has sides and faces to it. So let's talk about some of the vocabulary that comes with a 3D shape. I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation with you. All right, so the first word that you need to know about is faces. Faces are sides, okay? A face is a flat or it can be a curved surface on a 3D shape. So for example, when we look at this cube, okay, this is a face. I'm not talking about my face, I'm talking about this flat part of the cube, okay? Then if you turn it, there's another flat part. Turn it again, there's another flat part, and then another one. And then on this side, there's one, and then on this side, there's one. So there are a total of 6 faces or 6 flat sides that make up this cube, okay? When we look at a 2D figure, there's only one face. That's it, there's just one. So that's the difference between 3D and 2D when we talk about the word faces. Face is just a side. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is edges. So edges are the sides where the 2 faces meet. Okay, so it's where one face and another face come together and they make that flat edge or that flat side. So if you can see right here is an edge, right here is an edge. It's just where those faces are meeting together. Okay, so it's the side. So when we talk about a cube, there are 12 of these edges on the cube, okay? And then the last word that you need to know is vertices. When we talked about vertices before, vertices are the points. So where you see that multiple of the edges come together, it makes the points. Those are vertices, okay? So cubes and rectangular prisms both have faces, edges, and vertices. And it's really important that we know those words so that we can understand when we're talking about 3D shapes, how to communicate with each other. So the first one that we want to talk about is a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism, I have lots of examples here. You probably do too in your kitchen as well. But I've got a granola box, that's a rectangular prism. Cheez-Its, you guys know I like Cheez-Its. This is a rectangular prism as well. Okay, so all 3D shapes. I've got some nut thins, I like to eat for lunch sometimes. And then some wheat thins as well. Okay, so these are all 3D shapes that are rectangular prisms. The next shape we're going to talk about is a cube. Now, the cube can be kind of tricky. A cube has to have a square on all of the sides. Okay, so we've used these in school before. This is a square, this is a square, this is a square. Every side is made up of a square. Okay, this is a cube because every side is made up of a square. You have to be careful because sometimes you might have a square on top, but then a rectangular prism on the sides. So that would not be a cube. Okay, instead you have to make sure that the cube has a square on every single side of it. That's what makes it a cube. All the sides or all of the faces are a square. So, for example, I keep my seashells in this. This is a square on the front, but the sides are not squares. The sides are rectangles. So this would not be a cube, okay? You have to make sure that every side is a square, every single side. So just be careful with that when you're looking at cubes. A lot of times that's an easy way to get mixed up. So I have one more video to show you. I'm going to share it with you, and it just talks about the properties of 3D shapes. Now you're going to meet a couple other 3D shapes in this video. We won't be focusing so much on those, but it's nice to get familiar with them and to learn their names. So I'll go ahead and show you this video.
It's crunch time for the 3D crew, and who's going to take home the coveted and totally pointless prize of, most properties? Well, anyway, a 3D cube has 6 square faces. Edges, that's 12. Right, what about corners or vertices? That's the bits where the edges meet. 8. Oh, cube's really smashing this. Time for the mighty square-based pyramid. Let's go. Faces, 5. Edges, 8. And vertices, 5 again. Good try, pyramid, but cube's still in the lead. Finally, what about the sphere? So, faces, well, just the 1. Edges, 0. Vertices, none. Oh dear. Oh well. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Where you going? What a sore loser.
All right, I really like that video because it compares the cube, which was the first shape that we saw, and the properties of the cube, to a pyramid, which has a square bottom, but then a pointed top, and then a sphere, which has no points, it has no sides, it just has one face, and it is it's kind of like a circle, it's round, okay? So it kind of just compares those 3D shapes so that you can kind of see the difference and see what their properties, how they're similar and how they're different. So while you're at home today, make sure that you are looking around your house and seeing if you have any of these 3D shapes, and particularly the ones that we're focusing on, which are the rectangular prism and the cube. So see if you have any of these around your house. Earlier in our Zoom, people were surprised just because they had some sitting right beside them. I know Mary had a cube right beside her. It was like a little case that she keeps her stuff in. I know a lot of you have Rubik's Cubes at home. So that's one big cube made up of tiny little cubes. Rectangular prisms would be maybe like a TV or your furniture. So you know, you can find these items all around your home. So take a look, see if you can recognize some of them by their attributes or the things that we've learned today. And we're going to keep talking about these this week. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. See ya.